The Detroit Lions got off to their third consecutive 1-1 start in 2024. In 2022, we started 1-1. We lost the next 5. In 2023, we started off 1-1. We won the next 4. And of course, we've already started 1-1, right? But I got to thinking last night and this morning, is it the end of the world? Of course not. There are teams that start off, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? We've been here for a long time, and that's the truth. Last year, the Atlanta Falcons, everybody thought they were going to be so good at 2-0. We beat them. They wind up losing quite a bit. They wind up not only not making the playoffs after a 2-0 start, but they wind up getting their coach fired as well. Okay, it was time for him to move on and for the Falcons to move on. But the Detroit Lions, I truly believe, as you can see from the banner, that the next 4 games will define the season. And, you know, I used to be a little hesitant to give my opinion. I know I like to say that stuff, but I think I'm done being hesitant anymore because I've been right. I've been like spot on for a lot. When I talked about how the Lions can make the playoffs in 2022, you know, I was getting mocked in the comment section. We almost did it, right? I predicted all of this stuff. I predicted a lot of what happened last year. I even predicted Stafford winning the Super Bowl the year he was traded, because it just fit the narrative. So I'm not going to, not that I was afraid to say, but, you know, it gets overwhelming sometimes to just get completely criticized. But I can only imagine what it feels like to be an NFL player. But the point is, I'm feeling real good about some of the things that I've been saying after yesterday's loss. Now, it's kind of a good thing, because the last time the Lions started 2-0 was 2017, and we didn't make the playoffs. So that's another example of teams that start off strong and don't end. So we have to find a way to finish, and that's for every NFL team. But here's why I think the next 4 games are going to define the Lions NFL season. So coming up, and I want you to tell me what you see out of these next 4 games. Coming up in week 3, we have the Arizona Cardinals on the road. Kyler Murray has never beaten the Detroit Lions. Hopefully that doesn't change this year. 2020, and then in week 4, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this team has bested us for the last 3 years. One with Russell Wilson. They put up a 50 burger on us in 2021, but we already know what season that was. 2022, we fought them tooth and nail. They wind up completely exposing our defense. Kenneth Walker goes for a touchdown. In 2023, we lost in overtime. Got Geno Smith on 1 sack. Now, I don't think that happens this year, but it's time for us to best them like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was going to say Bustaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally bested us after 2 tries, right? So it's time for us to get the better of the Seattle Seahawks. Week 5 is the bye, and can't complain. We're going to need it. Week number 6, we got the Dallas Cowboys, and week number 7, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, all of these, the next 4 games we have 4 conference games and 1 division game in the next 4 games. Why do I think they're going to define the season? Because it's really going to show what the Detroit Lions, how much they've improved when it comes to one particular thing: mobile quarterbacks. Yesterday, we saw Baker Mayfield shred us up, ran for a 20-yard touchdown, juked Malcolm Rodriguez out of his shoes, okay, ran over another dude for a score. Baker Mayfield out there like Lamar Jackson. Kyler Murray, this guy, if there's one dude in the National Football League who refuses to get tackled and creates the longest plays you've ever seen, it's Kyler Murray. We can say what we want about him, but it's Kyler Murray. But when he plays the Lions, he doesn't play that well. So that's 2 very, very mobile quarterbacks in, one very mobile quarterback. And then Geno Smith, who 33 years old, just gets the best of us. That's 2 mobile quarterbacks. One elusive and super mobile, the other one decently mobile. Then we have Dak Prescott. Laid a straight egg yesterday, turd burger, but he can get around in the pocket. Now, we know what happened last time, so we owe them. And then, of course, the surprisingly 2-0 Minnesota Vikings, who their defense has been playing very well. Not really Sam Darnold. I'm not really buying into him like that, but they've been playing well. In my opinion, in the next 4 games, in the next 2 games, the Lions must split those games. My honest opinion, the Detroit Lions need to go 2-2 out of these next 4. They need to go at least 2-2. That would put them at 3-3 heading into week 8. Nobody expected us to be 3-3 heading into week 8. But why do and I'm not about to record predict and all that stuff. You know, we've been down that road. But we've got, after that, we've got the Tennessee Titans, the Green Bay Packers. This game is going to be super important, okay? Division game. The Houston Texans. Man, this thing is super duper annoying. So we've got the next 4 games are going to be critical. A lot of the AFC South right now is not that good. The Houston Texans are the only team with a win in the entire division. Now, granted, it's week 2, but how quickly a season can change, right? So it's funny how when you're 0-2, making the playoffs is a feat at that point. Because let's go back. The Lions dug themselves in such a big hole in 2022 that they literally could not. They went 8-2 and it still wasn't enough. They needed help at the very end just to make the playoffs. They took care of their business, but it was too little, too late, right? So the Lions, the next 4 games for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, will be season defining. The reason I say that is because you have teams that you could be competing for a spot. Now, of course, if we win the division, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. If we handle business, it's not. But then again, you have situations as well where you have tiebreakers, right? You have, if we win the division, we were the 3rd seed. If we're the 4th seed, then that's a thing that we might have to play one of these other teams and go to their place. We might not get 2 home games, right? So the Lions have to take care of business, and it has to happen over the next 4 weeks. Now, perfect world, we go 5-1 or 4-0 and wind up 5-1, just where we were last year, heading into week 7. But this year, hopefully the results will be a lot different. Now, again, the Lions last year, after dropping that game, they won 4 in a row. But here's another thing, too, I want y'all to understand. Our competition is harder. The higher you finish, the higher your competition will be. You wind up playing first-place teams all around the board. So the Detroit Lions, and this is what I was trying to say last year, about last year was last year. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. Last year was in a bottle. We had an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl, to win our Super Bowl. We didn't do it. We dropped the ball last year in every way possible. We blew a lead. We didn't trade for a pass rusher. We whiffed on Donovan Peoples-Jones. And that's why I was so angry. That's why I was so upset, because I knew the road was going to be harder. All the teams we're facing are better. We were supposed to get better, and maybe we are, but it doesn't look like it right now. Again, it's early, not time to hit the panic button, but these next 4 games are going to define the season. The Lions drop. Let's just play devil's advocate. Lions drop the next 4, 1-5. The whole world will crumble. Lions, we go 2-2. All of a sudden, we're 3-3. We're mediocre. Now, of course, we got 11 games at that point. There's a lot of football to be played. But if things aren't corrected, if things aren't fixed, we went 1-7 in the red zone yesterday. You cannot win. And just think about this. We score 1 more time. That's 6 points. All of a sudden, it's 22-20. The team has potential, but they got to get it together. And like I said, the next 4 games, in my opinion, will decide the season. It's got one way or another, it's going to decide the season. That's just how I feel. So let me know your thoughts. Now, of course, the Lions aren't 0-2, not the end of the world. And last year, they rattled off 4 straight. In a perfect world, that's exactly what would happen. They would rattle off 4 straight and be 5-1 like we were last year. Sky is not falling, but it's definitely cloudy for sure, right? Lions got to take care of business. And like I said yesterday on Twitter, what is the issue? Expectation. The Lions have gotten better every year under Brad and Dan. Literally have gotten better. The record has gotten better every single year. We expect that this year. The expectations this year are sky high. That's why yesterday's loss is such a disappointment. The fact that all these people got paid yesterday, for 2 games now, the offense has been stagnant. And I'll say this, and we'll move on. Meaning, wrap up the video. We have to, the wide receiver room needs to be taken a look at in one way or another, whether it's Tim Patrick, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Allen Robinson, or somebody that's not on the team. The edge rusher position needs to be taken a look at. James Houston, I don't even know where he was. We might have a video about him later today. As a matter of fact, we probably will. I don't even know. I got to see what his snap count was, if he was even out there in the first place. So things need to be, they need to reevaluate. No day off, right? No victory Monday. Got to get back to work. Got to come out. And the first thing we need to do is handle business with Arizona. And that's going to be a tough task. It's going to be tough. Again, Kyler likes to play us and lay eggs. I don't know what it is. We should have beat him the first time. We didn't. We should have. And the second time, we just manhandled it. We had a far inferior team. We're talking about 2021. And they started 7-0 that year. And we destroyed them just out of nowhere, right? So hopefully Lions take care of business. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. And I see that the person that was mimicking my avatar has decided to change it. And that was a very smart thing to do. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Got to be careful of who you rock with when it comes to YouTube.